Hey guys, it's Sam here. Thank you for checking out my Liquid Gold SVG font. In this video I'm going to show you how to install and use it and how to apply the Photoshop actions. So your download will contain the two SVG fonts, the folder for the individual letters as separate PNG images, and it will also contain the Photoshop actions file, which we are going to use to change the color of the font in Photoshop. So if you have the latest versions of Photoshop or Illustrator, you can install and use these SVG fonts. It's just a case of double clicking the font file and then clicking on install font, and then the font should be ready to select from the font menu. I'm going to do that for both the regular and the alternate fonts. The alternate font has a new set of upper and lowercase characters. So once that's done, you can head to Photoshop, and all you need to do is choose the type tool and then make sure you have the new Liquid Gold font selected in the font menu, and then just click anywhere in the document and the text will be available. Sometimes Photoshop will automatically open the glyphs window when you do this. If it does, just close it because it can slow things down a bit. And I've also set the anti-aliasing to none, just because again that can help the font run a bit smoother. But yeah, that's all there is to it really, guys. You can now type with the text in Photoshop. So that's the way to use the SVG font. So if you can't use the SVG font, you might be using an older version of Photoshop or a different program, you can use the PNG letters instead. So I'm going to just show you how to do that quickly. With Photoshop, you can hold down Command or Control to select the letters you need and simply drag them over to your document. So I'm just going to press Enter on each letter, and I'm going to duplicate the L, right click and duplicate layer. So what I'm going to do now is hold the Shift key and select all of those letters we've just inputted into Photoshop, choose the rectangular marquee tool, and then right click and free transform all the letters just to get them the right size that I want them. So that looks good. I press Enter, and then I'm going to use the Move tool with the Auto Select function selected. I'm just going to click anywhere in the document just to deselect all the letters, and then one by one just move all the letters into the place that I want them. This is quite a good method if you just want to like manually place each letter. If you're quite funny about getting all the letters in the exact position, then you might want to use this method. So there we go. Now we're going to look at changing the color. So you can use my Photoshop actions for this. So if you go back to the downloaded folder, it's just a case of double clicking on the actions file, and then it will be installed to Photoshop just like that. So you head to Windows and Actions, and then you should see a new folder here called Liquid Gold Font Actions. So there's just a few things you need to do before you apply the actions. So if you used the font method to type out your text in Photoshop, you need to right click on the text layer in the layers panel and then choose rasterize type. If you inputted the letters individually, hold Shift to select them all in the layers panel, and then right click and choose merge layers. So we've got the word on its own separate layer now. So once you've done that, all you will need to do is choose the action that you want from the layers panel. So this is the rose gold action, and then you just press the play button and it will change the text to that color. If you want to then change to another color or try a different color, you'll have to go to edit and step backward, or you can use the short keys to do that. Command Alt and Z, or Control Alt and Z, just to go back to the original gold, and then you can apply the next color. If you keep applying more and more actions, it won't have the desired effect, so you have to kind of go back to the original and then apply the next one. Yeah, so if you want to kind of try your own colors, maybe the actions don't quite get the color that you want, you can head to Image Adjustments and then Hue Saturation, and you can just play with the hue to get the color that you want, really. The only thing I'd recommend doing after that is then heading to Image Adjustments and just playing with the brightness and the contrast to kind of get a good shine on it, and yeah, just to make it look a bit kind of stand out a bit more. Yeah, and that's it really, guys, in terms of colouring the font in Photoshop. So let's jump into Illustrator now. Before we start, I would say that I would recommend colouring the font in Photoshop if you do have Photoshop. It's just a little bit fiddlier to do it in Illustrator, but it is possible, so I will show you how. So with the type tool selected, click in your documents to generate the text, and then I'm just going to move the direct selection tool, use the direct selection tool just to move it where you want it, and then head to object and rasterize to rasterize the text. Make sure you have the transparent background selected and then press OK. Once you've done that, head to edit, edit colors, and then adjust color balance, and you will have to play with the CMYK values here to change the color of the font, and make sure you have the preview box selected so you can see what you're doing. Yeah, so you just need to play with these values to achieve the color that you want. Like I said, it's a little bit more trial and error than Photoshop, but you can achieve any color really this way. And then just press OK, and that's all there is to it in Illustrator. So I hope you found that useful. If you run into any trouble or if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to help. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon.